Hi, and welcome to the first interview of the SOS Dance Decade Tour. Okay, just a little bit of a tap on the shirt as usual. We've got a gentleman to my left here, and he's a bit of a legend. He's been doing this scene for a long, long time. And we're at the Beaver Works in Leeds. It's taken us a while. Denny's very excited about doing this one because he's a big fan of this area and has been dying to get down here and check this place out. We've just had a look round. You'll have a bit of a visual during the video that you see. It is a mint venue with lots of different rooms, so fantastic for the Beaver Works crew, and thank you for inviting us down here. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the legend that is, Mr. Si Frater.
Hello, sir. Nice how are you doing? Welcome to Yorkshire.
Thank you.
More importantly, welcome to Leeds.
Welcome to Leeds, yes.
More importantly, welcome to the Beaver Works, our house.
Our house.
You're all welcome.
Thank you, superb.
Good to have you here.
All good. Okay, so we've said thank you to the Beaver Works, and I'm going to start with just some basic questions. It's like a bit of a who are you, where do you come from, what do you like, and then future events and what makes you tick, basically. All right, fella? So, first question, where did it all begin? How did house or dance music become an integral part of your life?
Well, for me, I started on pirate radio, sent in a demo tape, didn't have any decks, just used an Amstrad tape machine and a little record player. I managed to mix a couple of tunes together, did a 30-minute demo, sent it to the radio station, and they said, come on, let's do it.
Fantastic.
That was back in 1990.
Wow, and how long did that go on for?
We did that for a few years, yeah. It went crazy. I mean, it was the start of the scene, you know, people really getting into the house music, the dance side, and the raving. So we didn't have mobile phones then.
No.
You know, it was just pure about the music.
Yeah.
We had a little telephone at the end of the street, you know, the public telephone.
Yeah.
And we used to give out the number on that, and people would ring in there, we'd write down the names, go back to the studio, shout them out.
Fantastic.
And then you come out the radio station at midnight, you drive past the telephone box and it'd still be ringing, so we had to start choosing like different phone boxes around the area, you know, that we could start using.
Just so the residents didn't get
so it was really good fun.
Oh, fantastic.
You know, like I say, no mobile phones, we used to have a PO box.
Yeah.
And people would write letters and write into you. And
right. What was the name of the pirate radio show? What's your show called?
It was Unique FM.
Unique FM. Unique FM in Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
well, I remember the pirate ones from Leeds. It was Dream FM, I think it was back.
There was Dream, yeah. There was my mates, a couple of mates from Wacky FM, which were based in like. There was Cleckheaton in that area, so we had quite a few stations, but all massive. And, you know,
and now it's all through Facebook and internet, the radio stations, and
that's it. I mean,
those pioneering days of the old the pirate radio stations, it's the best sort of introduction to sort of being involved in music.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I mean, it was raw. It was the rawest form. Yeah. Even in the radio station, we had one turntable and a tape machine. We didn't have the setups. You know, we didn't have the money to do it.
No. Have you ever owned your own decks? Have you ever, you know?
Right. Well, yeah. From that, I started college. I was at Dewsbury College, and it was the time of the student loans.
Right. Okay.
And I didn't really. I was living at home, so I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
But it was interest free.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, well, I can get £1.50 interest free. So I went and got it. Gave him my hand a bit, you know, for the rent and stuff like that we needed. Went out and bought a pair of decks.
Good lad. What decks were they?
1200s straight away.
1200s.
Silver
1200s.
With cases, and it came with a mixer and a box of records as well, which was, you know, handy.
Yeah, just for setting up.
Just for setting up and getting going, and you know, never had a lesson, never, you know, had any formal training.
No.
But
just made it up as you went along.
Got on with it and felt the music and feel that beat and 1, 2, 3, 4, poof, you're off.
And then you're in the end. It's people do it in 4s, 8s, 16s, 32s. They wait for the build up or whatever. It's however
once you figure it out. I don't think. I mean, you can teach someone, obviously. Yeah. But you need to feel it as well.
Absolutely,
you need to have that passion for it.
I mean, what I always say, you can have a set ready to play. Yeah. But you got to look at your dance floor. Yes. And that's where you create the vibe, don't you? So you're going to change it, aren't you? So so having that natural feeling. If you ain't got it, you're pretending, aren't you? So having that feeling,
you need to read. You need to read the situation. You need to read the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't like when you plan a full set. It feels a bit fake.
You can do, but it's just, you never know. The idea of these tunes fitting together is great, but if you clear the dance floor and your second choice, you got to ad lib.
Totally. So bring it back.
So from there, so you got your decks and everything. When was the first sort of gigs that you did as a DJ?
Well, moving on from doing the pirate radio, I got offered to do the Park Pub, which was like a pub stroke club in Batley on Bradford Road. And Well, I went in and they heard me doing it on the radio, and I knew a couple of the guys that were already playing there, so I managed to get Tuesday night where we did his own like radio dance event, and people come down, and
fantastic.
it become quite a formal part of the week. We had Cagney's in Dewsbury, and they were having nights on Friday and Saturday, and it just slotted in, you know, and people were trying to get out to different things. So on a Tuesday we got, you know, quite a good crowd in.
And then that's going to pull sort of gigs for yourself, because people can come watch on the Tuesday.
Yeah, I got a sponsorship from the local record shop in Cleckheaton.
What was it called?
Oh, do you know what? I can't even remember the name. It was but what they did was they gave me a T-shirt with the logo on. And I used to get a few free records every week.
Love a freebie.
Yeah, and as long as I wore this T-shirt and I advertised where I was getting it from, so that built up my record collection as well, getting like the latest releases, and obviously building up a nice collection, learning the records, and then I got a booking to play at this like private event, and you just build up from there.
Yeah, it builds up. So when you first started DJing, what was the biggest gig you did when you were still up and coming, as it were, and you still, you know, we spoke about nerves before we even come there, about being a DJ and standing in front of people and stuff, and when did you first stand in front of a big crowd and think, wowzers, this is...
Do you know what? It wasn't really a big crowd. It was more like, you know, your private events and doing stuff like that. And then I got off, what was it, somewhere in Bradford, to go to a club, and you know, the bottles started coming in, and this is where the nerves started, and you thought, right, okay, you know, and I started pulling away a little bit, and rather than being behind the DJ stand, I thought I'd rather I'd dance and go out with my mates and get out and you know, the clubbing side of it.
So at that point, rather than just channeling your love of music and just being on the one side of it, you put that to one side because you understood what it was about. You knew who you were as an artist, as it were, as a DJ. You know what genres of music you like, but you wanted to enjoy partying anyway.
Do you know what? I was more comfortable on the dance floor than I was behind the DJ booth. And you know, I look back and I think, you know, it could have gone further. But I enjoyed being with my mates.
You're here now for a reason, aren't you? It's happened for all the right reasons.
It's all come round full circle, and you get that second chance, and wow, you know.
So we are at Ibiza Works, and you do a night here called Rejuvenation.
That's right.
Okay, just play that one again. So, how old is Rejuvenation?
Reju will be 6-year-old in March.
17th of March?
17th of March.
17th of March
2018.
17th of March 2018, 6th birthday. So many happy returns.
Thank you very much.
Anything that you want to talk about? You know, that's sort of like the origins. We'll talk about the 6th, you know, birthday party if you'd like to later on. But just the origins of Reju. Where did the idea come from? Where do you think I want to put my own night on?
Well, it was back in about 2011. We've been to Bowlers a couple of times because that started up again. And we've been to a couple of nights, fantastic nights, but obviously you go on the other side of the Pennines, other than staying over there, which we did at one of the events, properly had it. It was a case of getting over and then having to come back.
It's a big trek, isn't it?
So it was just a thought, simple message on Facebook, someone needs to put a decent old school night on in Leeds. Because there was not really anything going on here, not of any, you know, value or that you wanted to go out to. And from that message, I got a message from Green Bins. And it said, Si, that old school night that you're putting on in Leeds, I'll come and play for you free for the first one.
Brilliant.
So I messaged him back and I went, what old school night I'm putting on? Somebody needs to put it on. And it just went, why don't you do it? And then it was like, the seed was sown.
From the first idea to get in the venue.
From the seed being sown to actually meet in the club, it must have been a few months. We looked at other places, we got offered things, but they were too shiny, too nightclubby, and they were asking big money to put an event on. No sound system in there. So we were learning as we were going along what we needed and what we required to put an event. Obviously techniques and things, which you don't think about. A lot of venues are just empty boxes.
Massively.
So we managed to get his foot in the door at this factory in Walt Lane in Leeds, and he said, come down at 11 o'clock, we'll have a chat and see what we can do. So the funniest thing was we got down to the factory, there was nobody at the front, the doors weren't open, there was a gate at the side which had like a little gap in it, so we managed to get through this gap, went round the back of the club, there was a door open with some steps, so we like listening in and we could hear this beat coming from upstairs, so we thought, right, we'll just try and get up there. we walked into this like hallway and there was a few doors. And I remember there was a crack in the door, you could just see a guy moving about. And we thought, well, at least someone's here. Nobody come to introduce themselves. So we walked in and the music's blasting. And there's this guy, right, and he had one arm, okay, the music's blasting, it was absolutely off his face, really off his face. He had a screwdriver in his mouth, something in his hand, and he's fixing a Technic like this, and we're like,
brilliant.
We're here for it to see about putting an event on it. Turn around and it's like, all right, lads, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, what is going on here? It was the most surreal experience.
I can imagine.
So he took us downstairs to this other office where there was another guy there who actually owned the club. So he left us with him and we sat down and we blagged. We went in and we pretty much blagged and said, look, we're looking for an event, blah, blah, blah. Not lying, but just stretching the truth a little bit because we knew this was like his last
Painting
chance.
a brighter picture.
Yes,
All
exactly, making it a bit more.
My fault. Professional as always.
So we said, you know, we had a bit of experience in music, which we did, but dancing on that side rather than putting it on that side. And
creative licensing.
Yeah, and the guy was, you know, a bit umming and ahhing. And anyway, he said, look, I can tell you've got passion about it. I believe in what you want to do. There isn't really anything in Leeds that's doing that at the moment, so let's give you a chance, you know, and let's see what you can do. So we managed to book a date in for the 4th of February, and we would come out and we were buzzing. Seriously, we're like high-fiving, and
of course you know,
this might happen, this really might happen. Went home, told everyone, started building the event stuff and thinking about we were going to get to DJ. And then we got a phone call, it was about November. The club's been sold, it's got new owners. It's going to be shut over Christmas. The date that you were given, 4th of February, might not be open for then. So I think you might have lost your event, you know, that date. And we were like absolutely like gutted, you know. And
Devo, for
sure. So what happened was, it was sold to the Mint, or the guys who own the Mint Club. They wanted a bigger space to put on bigger events, so they bought it and they were converting it into the Mint warehouse. And it went through a lot of changes. They put new stairwells in, new bars, new dance area, big function one sound system. And we actually got through a friend the phone number of the guy who took over, the guy who owns Mint Warehouse, or the Mint brand in Leeds. So we thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. We've done it once. It's got to be worth a question. So we rang him up and we, you know, again, we had this event in. We had this event. He booked us. Can you honour it? You know, we need to put it on this date. Just come down and see me, right? By this time, we got posters printed. We got flyers done. Got the full lineup. And we went in and.
He wasn't a one-armed man with fixing a technique.
Do you know what? He'd gone. He was actually a techno DJ at the Orbit, apparently.
Right, really? Wow.
I can't remember his name. I wish I could remember his name, but yeah, what a funny guy he was. But anyway, this guy from the Mint brand, he's just come in and we had a chat with him. Because we had the flyers and the posters, he was like, right, well, they look quite professional. We've got full lineup and stuff. But it was still a bit dubious to who we were and what we were doing. So again, because we'd done it once, a little bit of the patter, Billy Big Balls, you know, and believing what we were going to do. And he's, all right, come on, we'll honour it. We'll honour it on that date because you've gone to this effort. And the cost of putting it, getting to that point, which, you know, getting stuff printed and stuff, it's not cheap. And not for us when you're putting your own money into it as well.
It's a win-win situation for them, really, because you're promoting a night at their club, aren't you? So
exactly.
You know what I mean?
To be fair, I mean, they didn't need us.
No, they didn't need to.
They didn't need us because it was already established Mint brand, and they had big vision for this space. It was a big warehouse space that they wanted to fill. So us bringing, you know, a couple of hundred people wasn't really of any interest to them, but they must have seen that we wanted to, we had this passion and belief that we could do it and make it happen. So yeah, they honoured the date, and by this point we got a little event page up on Facebook, trying everything out, and we managed to get 250 people, 300 people saying that they were coming.
Fantastic.
And we thought, wow, you know, let's do it. It was meant to be a one-off. We weren't going to do it again. It was actually not even called Rejuvenation at that point. It was called Frazzie's Old School Party.
Frazzy's old school, you heard it.
Yeah.
Bit
Now,
of frazzle dazzle.
when I was on Unique FM, it was Fraz and my radio, and everyone knew me as Si Frater, Fraz, you know, and so we were going to call it that, and we'd done these posters, and it said Frazzy's old school party, one-off party, 4th of February. Everyone that was listening to the radio, a few friends that we had in Manchester, come over, let's have a do together. And we thought, right, well, because we've got this event, we need to make it a bit more professional and make it sound a little bit more professional. So we thought, right, what name can we come up with? And we found that, all ideas were going backwards and forwards with the guy that I was working back then. And we were throwing these ideas together, and Rejuvenation came up, and it seemed to fit perfectly what we were trying to do.
Absolutely.
Take something that's, got a little bit old in the tooth, freshen it up and bring it back. And rejuvenation is that word. That's what it means.
Absolutely.
Take it back to how it was. Make it young again, vibrant.
That's brilliant. No. Well, old school is new school, and new school is old, as I say. I mean, that genre of eclectic style music, Rejuvenation. I love it. I love the sound of it. It's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's reviving something, as it were.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, definitely. So, going back to a little bit more about just you, what was the club that you first went to? What was your mecca when you were a young lad and you first thought, I love dance music? What was the first club that you went to enjoy it?
Back in the early 90s, we was going to the Arts in Leeds.
Yep.
A little bit of the gallery in Leeds, Leeds-based events. There's quite a lot going on.
Back to basics.
Stuff like that.
Used to come across
Not so much back to basics for us, because it was a little bit more housey style to what we want. The Arts were perfect, it's proper full on. Rob Sarah rave. Blandy was there. Dream Frequency.
The house.
The ravey side. That was what my passion and what I was into.
Absolutely.
The bleeps and the noises.
And, the LFO and all.
All that stuff. Leeds Warehouse mix. Wow. It goes down here every time. And
Test one as well. So that early Warp stuff was brilliant. Wasn't it? Yeah, that's a good show of music.
We were going to the Arts. I met a few guys when I was doing the Park Pub in Batley, and they said, "You want to come to this event called the Studio in Bradford?" And not a well-known event, but there was a guy who was with them called Mark James, and he was the resident at the studio. And I remember going over, and we went up some steps, and it was an old gym. Well, it was a gym, and they took all the gym equipment out, set some decks up at one side, a big laser, smoke machine, and you just had, the tunnel laser flashing on everyone. And at the back there was a chill-out room where everyone would sit on the floor. Probably get about 150 people in there. And we used to go nearly every week. It was amazing.
Just a really good little venue.
Enossia was on there. Some really DJs that were playing at bigger events coming to this place, a little space. And then from that, we started to venture out a bit more, and we went to Angels in Burnley, and then we hit Life.
Right.
As that was just emerging. We heard about this event at Ballers, and we went in there. That was wow. You walked down that ramp, you went down those 2 steps. I get goosebumps now just thinking about that initial walking in, and that space and the people and the podiums and the steam hanging in the air.
That's right, it's that little sort of effervescence at the top, isn't it?
And I thought, this is my own, this is where I belong. So that was where we travelled to a lot.
Similar to most people, it's never the big venues when you first go, it's your little ones, it's the ones where it's just a few people in them. And Club 21 in Darwin, it literally, you look like you're walking someone's terrace front room. You get about 90 people in there, but it was 90 people who absolutely adored dance music. You know what I mean?
And adored the people.
The Red Parrot, or Set Ends it was called in Blackburn, which was a massive, and it became an iconic event. You could only get 200, 250 people in their tops. It was tiny, but it was such a good venue with the low ceiling and the drippy sweat. We all have our first venues. Finishing off on the Beadworks, we now know that you're at the Beadworks, and you've been doing this event for coming up for 6 years. We'll talk about your 6th birthday party later on. But just as a little bit of a sidetrack from this, just a little bit more about yourself. We'd like to keep a couple of light questions within there. So, which house track or sort of dance track first tickled your fancy? Which tune was it that went, ooh, electronic-wise, I like this?
Well, I was clubbing. I was out clubbing.
Just in general, just your first sort of house music tune where you thought, that electronic dance beat.
I think the moment where I truly connected with the dance music in the scene was when I was stood in the middle of the Arc in Leeds. I've been listening to music, I was playing music and stuff like that, but that moment where I truly felt like this is truly what I believe in was Le Voile du Soleil, is it? And I remember DJ Si dropping it,
Yeah.
and
I play it on -2.
it just went through my feet,
It's
it
a
came
tune.
through my legs,
Yeah.
and it came into my head, and it was like one of those revelation moments.
That's sort of 94-ish, isn't it, really? That's
Yeah,
94, 95,
definitely around there. And also Fixation,
Yes.
with the piano in
Yeah.
there, watching it play that.
Yeah.
Other tracks, maybe when we were down at Bowlers with Green Beans, you know, some of the underground stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that you didn't really hear a lot, but I mean, Green Beans was a massive DJ for me.
Yeah. No, I was DJing when we was. I mean, you're fortunately a couple of years younger than me, but Green Beans was Monroe's, and it's sort of like in 1989 when I DJ with Green Beans at the upfront promotions nights. Where that was when they started coming out of the warehouse and into the clubs, because they changed the party laws, so we're all criminals rather than just people enjoying themselves. But no, Green Beans, I mean, I have massive respect to the lad because he's been around for ages. So that sort of underground style, it's not just house, it's like the hip house and the electro breakbeaty stuff that and acid house that you chuck in, and it was such an eclectic style. So so those sorts, not just your typical house, like that underground genre was
That's
there.
it, the underground stuff.
Yeah. So go on then. So just going on tunes, we like to make people name a tune every now and again. So we've done this in the past. Everyone has a guilty pleasure. Ian Bland's is Blandy. It's a Coronation Street theme. We won't go there.
Guilty pleasures.
For me, believe it or not, it's George Michael, Turn a Different Corner. Just poignant lyrics, 14, broken-hearted. Love the lyrics. Send it to myself when I listen to that tune. It's great. So guilty pleasure. Do you have one?
Right, well, you mentioned George Michael. What happened back in the day?
He looks nervous now. He's
I absolutely petrified
guilty
because
pleasure.
nobody should hear this, but it is a story. You used to get Rice Krispies, and they used to give away free 7-inch singles. And I remember you had to collect 3 of the tokens off the box, and you posted it off, and you could choose a single.
7-inch.
Yeah, and oh, gee. Okay, I was a little bit into Wham.
As you do.
Then days
a guilty
George
pleasure.
Michael, and they were offering Club Tropicana on the 7-inch single.
Fun and sunshine.
Yeah, and so I saved me 3 tokens.
Yep.
I posted off the card, and this 7-inch come back.
Yep.
Probably
Bleached his teeth white, did his hair.
Probably the first record that I got. I mean, it was a free one.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I bought, but we'll go back to that after.
Yeah.
And listened to it, loved it. You know, cheesy, but it was just right.
So
I like that happy kind of vibe.
Yeah.
The swimming pool, the carry on, and stuff like that.
Pepsi and Shirley.
But on the other side, because
It's a B-side,
I flipped it over, and it was Herbie Hancock, Rocket.
Mate, that
Wow.
is a tune.
Now,
It's an electro 80s tune, Rocket.
and it was something different that I'd never really heard before.
It's just that it is such a tune.
And I listened to it, and maybe that was sort of like the first kind of thing where you got the electronic.
Maybe.
The beats.
Rice Krispies are the reason why this man, who loves music, it went from Rice Krispies to Wham to Rocket by
That's the
Herbie
one,
Hancock. That is absolutely stuff.
Here, Rob, bring it in here. So we found it.
I can't find the actual one, but that's...
That's it. Pop Records, Rice Krispies. So these
Pop Records, Rice Krispies. We'll get Sam to do a close on that in a bit. That is brilliant.
So they did the Club Tropicana one, which I actually sent it off for.
Yeah.
And then got a second gift, which is Herbie. That's the one. Herbie Hancock. And there we go. Maybe that was the start of the dance.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure and an unseen gem there. That is superb. Okay, so Reju's been around for a while. Fair credit for you, because it is hard times for people setting up nights and keeping them going. 6 years coming up. Again, we're going to talk about it at the end. But you know, just for this gentleman to be a DJ, a music lover, into producing, sort of promoting, but also a little bit of production. So you know, we all have our little Instagrams, all this sort of stuff. And Blandy Studio legend. If you ever want to make a tune, get hold of that guy, because he's fucking mint. I do believe you've done a little bit of work down the studio with Blandy.
Yes.
Is that true? What was the name of the tune that you did with him? Is it have a name?
Rejuvenation.
It's called Rejuvenation. Was there a specific reason why you did it?
Do you know, Ian was kind enough to offer for me to go in the studio. I'd done a little bit with Rob Sarah as well before that. We made a really good tune as well. And before that, I actually made one with Mike Absolute.
He's been producing for quite some time.
Yeah,
so Mike Absolute, Rob, and also...
Mike first,
yeah.
Rob, and then he Blandy.
Blandy.
Now, going back to Mike's tune, we released it on Track It Down Records.
Right.
It went to #1 in the breakbeat chart for 6 weeks.
Brilliant. That was the genre, a breakbeat style
Breakbeat
tune.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
A re-edit kind of sort of feel to it with the breakbeat behind it. It's #1 for 6 weeks, and then it dropped out of the charts a little bit, and then a few weeks later it went back to #1. Now, I found out you don't need to sell masses of records, but do you know what? We made it on there, and there's a lot of records from here, from the USA, and we're holding his own.
Yeah, that's
so
brilliant.
First track
up there, 6 weeks at #1.
That's it.
Big book charts.
Yeah, I got about £3 royalties. But that's music nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's such a shame that back in the day, people made records and they commanded a wage for it, and they deserved it because these tunes were phenomenal. They were selling everywhere. Nowadays, MP3s, illegal downloads.
It is the
it's
internet.
such a shame, and you know,
it makes everything global so we can all hear it, but it also devalues everything.
Devalues it totally, and Blandy, I mean, what a legend.
I know how many tunes
that he's made.
It's just incredible.
And even he's touched on that it's just, there's not the money in that. You've got to do it for a love and a passion nowadays, because you're not getting, unless you're charting and you're getting high in the charts, which you're not going to if you're not creating that cheesy Euro pop sound.
But you either do it for yourself or you do it as a business venture, don't you? And
Exactly.
We've had a conversation the kind of way down about some people, the talented individuals, don't like the style, but how well are they doing at what they do? But that's not my style, so I'd rather not sell as many records and make something that I'm enjoying.
You either be true to yourself.
When you're producing music, for sure, definitely. So this tune called Rejuvenation, has it been aired at all, by any chance? Or
only through my OSM radio show, and then we dropped it in the club at the last Reju.
Brilliant.
So just before Blandy went on with Dream Frequency in Derbyshire, we were actually stood up here. He was behind the decks there. I had my camera, and he went, "You ready?" I went, "Yes." So we filmed it, and he dropped it, and you could see people like, "What's this?"
Because he didn't know it.
No, and then it broke into Rejuvenation, and you could see the hands starting to go up, and then the piano kicked in. It went off.
Tingle.
Oh wow, massively.
Yeah.
And I'm filming it. I'm a bit teary, it was just all those emotions like being released. And I was playing the last set of the night on that event in November, and I was back to back with Green Bins. And I thought, right, I had a copy of it. Let's drop it again. And it was like, it was like people had knew it for years. It went off.
That's class. That's so
really good.
So you've produced with some. So if you could produce with anyone, if you got a choice, living or dead, music-wise, if you could grab hold of someone in a studio and have a session with them, who would it be?
Do you know? I really rate some of the other tunes that Welly did, Manchester Records, and that side of it. So to have a chance to work with Welly,
work with Welly. Okay, so final two questions for the legend. That is, one's about the reason why we're here. Really, it's a collaboration of the Dance Decade, the Rejuve Posse, and also an SOS. And it's not Save Our Souls. It's strictly old school. Now, this is an old school event that's been going on for a few years. This young man's been involved in it, not just playing but promoting. He's done some of the artwork for them, and it is fantastic. And that's one of his guilty pleasures, is the fact that he's a really good graphic artist, but we'll talk about that another time. So just about the event itself, I myself am lucky enough, I've done the last two PAs. I worked with you at the hidden event. It was the #1 with Mark Ecstasy, Rob Avery, etc., and Kat, fantastic. And parked your wife's car, but that's another story.
My car.
Your car. I never scratched it.
Well, I was DJing.
That's right.
You're driving
so
around.
No, nice to meet you, and also the legend that is behind us, Reese. Yes, mate.
Yes.
Good, so I said you get a shout out. So SOS, it's a really a good idea to take it to the world. Do you know what I mean? The people that have been putting this on for the last few years, etc., just much respect to you.
Big ups to the SOS.
Big up to the SOS.
Definitely.
And also there's an SOS Oz. So Nicola, etc. We have to give you a big up. It's the 19th of May to the 26th of May this year. I'm going to be doing a little spot. We've got the Dance Decade crew out there. Your main man ES or Sam, and also Rob Denver are going to be out there. And we're looking and loving the fact that we're going to be spending some time with yourself, Mark Ecstasy, etc. The man Matt, no man Slip Matt. And so your views on the do. So when did you first get involved? How did you get involved with the SOS?
SOS for us was, it'll be 3 years ago now. It wasn't the first year that they started.
No.
It was the second SOS. Well, obviously Rejuve was growing as a brand.
Yep.
Very much the same philosophy of it being about the people,
Yeah.
being about having a good time,
Yeah.
and concentrating on the parties rather than the DJs or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
making it special for everyone. So again, a massive Rejuve thing. We want people to be there, whether you're a DJ or you walk through the door, if you're just here for the party, everyone's on the same level. And
It's a family
SOS,
affair for sure.
SOS have got the same
Brilliant.
kind of.
Well done, SOS.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not an easy thing to do, you know, because there's a
No.
business side, etc., and you have brands, etc. But to create the right vibe for the right people, for the right reasons, like you say, when I'm DJing, I like to look out and enjoy people, and then when I'm not DJing, I'm out there,
Yes.
being one of the people. Do you know what I mean? That's
That's it,
the vibe that you get from the SOS, and we definitely get it from yourself. So this is your third time you're going out there?
This will be the third year.
What's your favourite venue you've played out there so far?
We've done Eden with Rejuve. Not the main room though, the back room. Again,
Shh, don't put that down.
you know what?
Is it good?
It works.
Yeah.
I'm not fussed about the glitz and the glamour and
Yeah.
the shine. I want the room to be right, the size to be right, and the people that are in there together,
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder. And
Yeah.
Sorry, Reece.
Yeah.
They're having it.
Swapping sweat.
You
as
know
they
what?
say politely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it worked for us.
Yeah.
And they did say, look, you can have the main room if you
Yeah.
want, but I
No.
don't want to be lost in that,
No.
oasis of
Yeah.
mirrors and stuff.
That's it, just to cut to this place, the Beaver Works. If you've never been here, this is the best venue if you like intimacy. There's 4 or 5 little rooms, perfect sizes, fantastic sizes of sound systems, and like you say, it's that touchy-feely thing. It's like we're swapping sweat, as it were. Makes it more real, makes it more sort of like, you know, intimate, as it were. So yeah, so they
Definitely.
didn't matter. So I remember we've had a conversation off air as well. You did S Paradise, is that right?
Yes, I was fortunate enough to be asked to play there for SOS, their brand as
Yeah.
well. Obviously, Rejuve was at Eden, so
Yeah.
SOS was at S Paradise.
Yeah.
So they try and put brands in different places.
Yeah.
To be invited to play for SOS at S Paradise, wow,
I
it's a
know.
super club.
It is a super club.
I mean, this is a lad from Leeds, being asked to play
I know.
in Ibiza.
Yeah.
I managed to play for them the closing party on the beach, Playa d'Embossa.
Right.
I got the first set there as well, so it was the opening set at the closing party.
Fantastic.
And for an hour, I stood there, covered in goosebumps, tingling, looking out over the beach, looking into the sea. There was people dancing in front of you. Wow.
Just loving
It
it.
was one of those moments you think, how have I done this?
Yeah.
But absolutely soaked every minute in and loved it.
No, that's super.
And this is what SOS is about. It's old school, but we're not in an old club, we're not in a warehouse or anything. We're actually out in the warmth, we're in the sun.
Yeah.
We can go to the pool through the day,
Yeah.
we can go and party through the night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's full on.
Yeah.
It is proper
Yeah.
full on, but it's
But
worth it.
different genres for different times of day as well. You have
Yeah.
so like more of your Balearic style stuff for the daytime where it's nice and chilled,
That's
and then
right.
when the sun goes down, the beats go up, etc. Don't they? And
Yeah,
you
when
get
the
a
sun goes down, the stars come out.
wait
That's one of the lines that I did on the design work. When the sun goes down, the stars come out.
Yes,
And it works, and I tell you what, this year, Ibiza rocks to have that proper dedicated pool
Have you seen
area,
it? It looks
because I
mint.
think that's what's been lacking with SOS. It's an area through the day where people can come together
Yeah,
and just have it
it's
and
quite
enjoy it.
fragmented, so that's bringing everyone
Well,
in.
they brought in a lot of new laws in Ibiza, and the government or whoever
Yeah.
was in charge of that area has said there's no music through the day. They've got cut-off times through the night, and it's really restricted the place that should be the party capital of the world,
Yeah,
which it's
Yeah.
renowned for. It's just said its wings clipped a little bit, but by getting Ibiza rocks and
Yeah.
some of the nicer venues in Ibiza,
Yeah.
it means we can party through the day without the police coming and turning it off,
No.
Lagarde or whatever they're called, and we can party through the night as
it's
well.
sort of rejuvenating the idea of clubbing out there, aren't they?
Wow.
Yes, mate.
Are you loving that?
Yes, mate.
Every time on television, rejuvenation, rejuvenating. Yeah, every time something's mentioned on the telly, I think there's Redox Rejuvenation body gel.
I wear it all the time.
Yeah, people are texting me going, Rejuvenation's on the challenge now, and I'm actually getting as presents, gifts sent to, I've got the gel, you know, and stuff being sent to me.
You know, the idea of a system or a government trying to stop people standing around and dancing and saying, I love being alive, you can fuck off because it's never going to happen. We did it in warehouses and they changed the laws so that we then had to move it into clubs. We're now back in warehouses called clubs. You can't stop people dancing on beaches. We are here because we love music and we love each other. Yes,
amen.
Amen. All right. So that's the ethos of where we're at, people. All right. So finally, so it's the 19th to 26th of May. You'd be foolish not to go there. Honestly, the flights are cheap. The venue, the party itself. If you go on the Facebook page for the SOS, tag any of us and I'll have a look on us. We've got our own little sort of promotions going on for it. It is a massive event. The lineup is fantastic. Cannot wait to see this guy. Cannot wait to get these elbows sharpened and get the lands on the old decks because I love it to pieces. Yeah. And so if we don't see you there, we'll be gutted. So I cannot wait for that event. Last question, because it's all about the redo for me for this, because this venue is class. You know, I will love to bring a little bag down here and flex my pecs on these days.
All on camera.
As you do. all on camera, mate. Do you know why? Because these venues are hard to find, and this man's kept this one going for several years. So massive, massive big thumbs up to you, Sunshine. Birthday party, 17th of March. 17th of March.
St Patrick's Day.
St Paddy's Day. We're all wearing the greens. Yes. All right. Okay. So this is a party. So have you got any line-up disclosed as yet? Or are you still working at it?
The thing is, we really do.
It's all under wraps.
I don't release until it's completely finished, and I like to take my time and make sure that everything is in the right place. We've got, you know, where the running times are, where the DJ's going to fill in and slot into that. So I'm nearly there. Yeah. Good. Next few days I'll have it ready. The artwork's nearly ready as well, and it'll all be released.
Got any artists you can chuck out there for us now?
It's
true to his word, mate.
Do you know what?
Tried then, didn't I? True to his word.
Do you know what? Green Beans is a resident.
There you go, Green Beans.
But he can't play this time.
Oh, mate!
And that's all I'm giving you.
No, that's all you're giving me, thanks. Well, listen, all I can say is from Dance Decade to Reju to SOS to Sam and Rob, this has been an absolute pleasure. Si, superb man.
Well, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Rob.
Rejuvenation in the house. Okay, so welcome back. It's just a question regarding the site and the artwork involved. It's a specific question from Rob because we love promotion, we love production, we love things, visual contact for people because it's an important part of the scene. Is how it looks, and those flyers. Ever since we were kids and they were handed out, you saw a flyer, and if it you know, it was like a little acid smiley. You'd be looking at it. It was all back in the, there was something, wasn't there?
Yes.
Now I've been looking at your 5th birthday party one with all the sort of like the visuals and stuff.
With the lines, yeah.
Yeah,
really
very clever. And yeah, but it catches your eye. It's that little thing. So I believe you're a graphic designer. Is that right?
Yeah, graphic designer. Went to college. Like I say, when I got the student
paper behind his name and everything.
When I got the student loan, I was. Studying graphic design and advertising.
Right. So you do all the Reju stuff, and what other stuff do you do? I mean,
yeah, all the Reju flyers. Obviously, created the brand, the logo that you see, which the trademark crown.
Yeah, the big crown.
Like that. That's all my work. I also do a lot of work for bowlers. Unfortunately, work with Simon Coldley and do all the bowlers fly, and of course SOS.
Yes, mate. SOS.
So the flyer that you saw last year was my work. Yeah. The purple
backdrop one. This
I've one, that's my work as well. Yeah. So I really love working with it. Again, if you've got a passion for something, you want to put 100% into it. And do your best for it. Yeah. I love the scene. I love the music. Yeah. I want everyone to do well. Yeah. I want the scene to survive. I want it to work. So I'm not just Reju. I want SOS to work. Yeah. I want bowlers to work. I want people to come together and keep it going, because if we don't and we're all fighting and events are fighting between each other, it's not going to work and it's not going to carry on. Do you know, I'm fortunate with Reju because it's doing well, but I see other events doing well as well, and I want to be part of that. That's why I DJ that at them and stuff like that.
So when it comes to your graphic design, do you have like a works name? Do you name it?
Yeah, if you go on Facebook and search for Si Design.
Si Design.
It's on there. You can check out some of the works, some of the Happy Monday stuff that I've been working on. You know, the new stuff this year for bowlers and things, and obviously the Reju stuff and the new stuff that's coming out for that. So I like to just keep putting bits up when I can. And long may it last.
Creative flair right across the board.